A comforting classic, the tea sandwich. We've all had them, crustless sandwiches with myriad fillings, but who makes them anymore? Let's bring them back.
I'm all for preserving a little tradition in the kitchen, and I also love make-ahead dishes. Not to mention, any chance I get to use a tiered tray, I'll use it. So you throw those three things together, and what do you have? Tea sandwiches. I have gotten my hands on the coveted Hooker's Hook-In chicken sandwich recipe. I know, rug hooking that is. It is such a delicious recipe, and we're gonna make fancy little tea sandwiches with it. Start with 1 yolk into a bowl and add some white wine vinegar. This is the acid in the recipe, and some lemon juice, and just a little bit of Dijon to add that kind of edge. And the secret to mayonnaise is just to slowly incorporate the oil into your mixture here. So I'm just going to add a little bit and get that liaison, as it's called, going. Make everything smooth. Patience is a virtue, and that is what is required when making homemade mayonnaise. Oh my gosh, look. It's already gorgeous and fluffy. Just add the remainder here. Just every last drop, keep whisking. Pause long enough to clean up as you go. Beautiful. Now the texture is going to be a little bit different when you make homemade mayonnaise. It's not quite as thick, and that is okay. Okay, I'm going to leave that as is. But before I do that, I'm going to add a nice big pinch of salt, maybe one last whisk. All right. Okay, meanwhile, I have some chicken. It's cooked chicken, just pulled off the bone. Any kind of cooked or leftover chicken is perfect. Okay, we are making fancy tea sandwiches, so we're going to do a nice fine chop to this chicken. Chop this up nice and fine. You could also call a tea sandwich a church sandwich. When everything is roughly as small as possible, scoop it all up into a mixing bowl, making sure that you're using white and dark meat. You want a variation of color and flavor in your sandwich. All right, the secret ingredients: finely chopped apple and some walnut or pecan pieces. Chop them up fine, again, if they're chunky. And I have some finely chopped celery and some green onion. Beautiful. And a little bit of curry powder. And last but not least, some dried cranberries. I'm going to give these a little bit of a chop before they go in as well. Gather your chopped cranberries. Cranberries could easily become raisins, but I think what you're looking for is just a little bit of sweet and definitely color. Color is what we love. Okay, so mayonnaise goes in to bring it all together. There we go. Okay, a little bit more mayo. About 3/4 of a cup, I'd say. Okay, a little pinch of salt and pepper, of course. Okay, clear off, make a big space because it's a little bit of an assembly line. I have a damp tea towel protecting the bread. This is nothing special, just typical sliced bread. lay it out. If you've made your own, take it to the bakery and get them to slice it. Okay, so we have a rolling pin. This is one of those secret grandmother tricks. Roll over the bread just to make sure, again, that they're kind of smushed down a little bit. You want the bread to be sort of dense enough so it doesn't get soggy when all the topping goes on. All right, that is done. And now another very important step is to butter the bread. Doesn't matter what you're putting inside. Make sure that each slice is buttered right to the edge, because the butter actually acts as a barrier to the bread so the bread doesn't get soggy. Bear with me while I carefully butter each and every square here. We're coming to the end here. Now, of course, just top one side with filling. Does not look so yummy. It's amazing how that little bit of curry powder just colors this whole thing. All right. Beautiful. Okay. The women way back when who made these sort of things all the time knew what they were doing. They cut the crust off so everything would look pretty, but also they used the crust for stuffing or croutons. Nothing is wasted. Maybe the kids could snack on it. Who knows? Okay, so at this stage, you have options. You can make little diamond-shaped sandwiches or little rectangle finger sandwiches. So I'm going to do a variety and lay them on the pretty tiered tray. Okay. I'm thinking these ones are going to be squares. Why not? Now, I did say that little tea sandwiches are fantastic, make ahead, and I am clearly serving them right now. So if you are going to make them ahead, put them on a big cookie sheet, finished, and cover them with maybe some wet paper towel or just a slightly damp tea towel like I did earlier, and then wrap them in plastic, and that will preserve them, keep them from drying out, because that is another secret. All right, let's get this tea party started with a lovely little rectangle. I love celebrating sandwiches, taking them to a whole other level, because people just usually kind of roll their eyes and don't think they're that special, but sandwiches can be special. It's time for us to give them the respect that they deserve. It's that curry, the cranberry, and the little bits of pecan, tiny bit of onion. You are definitely not supposed to talk with your mouth full at a fancy little tea party. So that's it for me.
Go wild or traditional and keep tea sandwiches alive. Just use your imagination